Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you in it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This segment is presented by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. This postseason stretch has everything. The NFL playoffs bringing winner go-home drama, college hoops heating up, and nightly action across the NBA and NHL. If you're following the games, FanDuel provides real-time odds, player trends, and insights that help fans understand how the markets view each matchup. From football to basketball to hockey, it's a great way to stay connected to what's happening across every league. Here on Chief Concerns, we'll keep you close to the storylines and key numbers shaping the postseason, which teams are trending up, which stars are surging, and how momentum is shifting as the championships get closer. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. We don't offer betting advice or guarantees. Please gamble responsibly and only where it's legal to do so. Must be 21 years or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there is our guy, former Chiefs tight end, Jason Dunn. JD, how are you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm doing well, Marcus, on this MLK day. I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. It was good to see the kids was, out of school, of course, and they enjoyed it, being able to sit back and just kick their feet up a little bit.
Nice.
But other than that, man, it was, pretty uneventful day today. Everything was cool. Everything was cool, man. So what about you? How was the weekend for you, man?
Weekend was good. Relaxed. Just a relaxing weekend. I was kind of feeling under the weather yesterday or Saturday. I kind of slept it off yesterday and today. And I finally got back to the gym, running my hills, doing all my my full-on workout for 2026. I was able to get back into that today. So, yeah, just relax, JD. And obviously, a lot is going on here. And I got to say, our channel popping again. There's a little bit after Mahomes' injury. A lot of people went away. We saw a lot of people leave. Not many views, but people are starting to come back as we get heated up, JD, to the 2026 between draft coverage and, of course, the news from today, which there's two new things we should talk about tonight before we get into the running back room conversation.
Yeah,
EB, baby's back in the building, baby.
EB is back in the building. EB is back in the building. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So it seemed like that was a natural thing to happen, So good for the Chiefs.
I love it, and I saw the reports too. And it's just so funny. People think they know what they're talking about. It's like, he has bad relationship with everybody. The reports I've seen today, you can see Chris Jones was excited as hell to have EB back. He shared this on a story. I read also that Kelsey's a big EB guy, and that's a huge EB coming back is actually going to make him want to come back. So that's another thing too. Mahomes, a lot of people were kind of pointing to Mahomes' presser last week where he kind of talks about discipline and not having that, and EB being back. I'll give it to you. The fact that and everyone in the building is really excited about it, and that's the thing. It's like fans who are mad that we're not bringing in a new voice. And we'll get to a new voice that that you actually know in a second as another coaching hire today. But for fans that are saying, "Oh, we need a new voice," well, people in the building are excited to have this person back. That tells volumes. And if QB1, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce want this guy back, this tells you that this isn't just a drinking buddy for Pat and Kelce, because we know for a fact EB's going to get in your face and he's going to yell at you. We've seen it many times. They want that back. They want that coaching pedigree back. And we got it in the building, and like anyone who's like upset about it, I refer you to all the tweets about how the team and the players are excited about having Eric Bieniemy back.
You know what? Look, I get it. People wanted new blood. They wanted new a new vision. They wanted to turn a new leaf in the Chiefs' history. They wanted something else that wasn't going to be the same they'd seen before. But I say sometimes when you rekindle these relationships, and you said how everybody else feels about him, Patrick and Travis, it speaks volumes. It really does. And the only one really that anybody can said anything bad about EB was obviously Shady. That was it. He was like the only one that said that.
Yeah.
So, and Shady, because EB's holding him accountable a lot of different things, but they just kind of bump heads, and that's fine. Like EB said, that sometimes those things do happen. But for EB to come back, and he's been a couple of places since then, right? UCLA, Commanders. He's been up here with the Bears. He's gained a little bit more knowledge, and there's some things he's going to bring back here to the table. He's going to put into the offensive system. As far as like scheming up against teams and whatnot, he's going to be fine. And I tell you what, when you're talking about accountability and responsibility, EB is going to hold these guys to the fire. And yeah, that's needed. That is needed for young guys. They don't really get it and don't quite understand. And so for somebody who played in the league like EB has, guys have a very great relationship, knowing and respect for a guy that's actually suited up and has been in the back there. So EB was a legend as a running back. We all know that. And so this just makes sense. And I told you this, Marcus. I said it's going to have to be somebody that works well with Andy. That's who it's had to be. And so we know it had to either be EB or Kafka, but then, I know Kafka's probably, looking out for some head coaching jobs. Sean McDermott getting fired, that was a shocker for real. But, got EB, man. Got my boy back in the building, man. So I'm happy. That's my guy right there, EB, brother. That's my brother.
Yeah. And Shady also, he went on today. He said, I don't know if you saw what Shady said today. Did you get a chance to see what he said on Twitter today?
No, I didn't know.
I mean, just essentially saying that, Andy's getting old. He needs a guy in the locker room who's going to yell at the players because he can't do that anymore. And so EB's the perfect guy for that.
Oh, see?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a backhanded compliment. Pretty much saying that's all EB's good for is yelling at players. I mean, that's the one thing I'll say that's kind of annoying is that people say all he's good for is yelling at players. This guy played in the NFL. This guy was the real deal running back. And this guy has been an offensive coordinator for Super Bowl winning teams. Our last MVP season for Patrick Mahomes, I know he won Super Bowl since he left, but our last MVP season for Patrick Mahomes was who was our offensive coordinator? Eric Bieniemy was our offensive coordinator. Yeah. So people forget that.
Nice correlation there, man. Nice correlation there. But Pat was saying that what EB would do is he would correct Pat on things. So Pat doesn't know it all. It is not about star power. EB ain't worried about any of that. He's like, look, I done played in the league. I'm not on that all that hype and the hoopla and stuff like that. You ain't gonna be able to intimidate me like I don't know what I'm talking about. EB has been around the block 3 or 4 times, and so they can respect the guy like that because EB's, like you said, he's gonna get in his space and gonna hold him accountable. And Pat needs that. Pat needs a guy to say, "Hey, man, throw that ball away. What are you doing?" And so this is perfect. This is perfect for those guys moving in a direction I think that they needed to. So, because if you bring in too many changes, and I said this, you can really mess up the balance of things if you are bringing a guy that brings new ideas that Andy's not necessarily, he hasn't worked with before. And so there's going to be a clashing of heads right there. Sure, I think about like when it happened in Cleveland with Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson had Todd Haley and what's the name of it, Greg Robinson. All those guys up there, and it was just like it they was just in a whirlwind of just ridiculousness. To be honest with you, because everybody wanted to be the head coach, everybody wanted to be the guy, and so Hugh had to tell them in a meeting, which was kind of crazy. Listen, when it comes down to it, I'm going to be the one that makes the decisions.
There's one voice.
One voice. So I don't care what Todd has to say or Greg has to say. When it comes down to it, I'm going to be the one. My next is out there on the Chapel block. So let's make this known right now. And Andy don't have to go through those things like, with anybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited. And again, we talked about it last week. We talked about it, mentioned it many times. I mean, this team, the year when Nagy was offensive coordinator the year after he left to go to Washington. When they were when the Washington was out of the playoffs and we were going to Baltimore, who's giving us the pregame pep talk.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy is. He drove from the DC to Maryland to talk to the guys, and apparently a lot of people said it was one of the best speeches they've ever heard. So again, like EB has the guys, he has the guy's ear for sure. That's why you're seeing even the defensive players being excited about him coming back to town. Another hiring, which is interesting, a fun one. JD, not many times we have guys who were coaches when you were there come back to the staff, and Chad O'Shea. So we got a new wide receivers coach. People have been begging for a new wide receivers coach for a long time. Well, we got a guy who's been there, done that. And that's Chad O'Shea, who was with the Patriots for about 10 years. But he started in the NFL with you guys in 2003 as an assistant, or like a volunteer assistant. They became like a special teams coach for the following years. But I got a chance to text our guy, your offensive coordinator, JD Al Saunders, just ask him what he thought about this hire. And he said, "Good man, excellent coach. That group will be in good hands." And then they responded back saying A+ hire. So Chad O'Shea, JD, you were in the building when he was there in Kansas City. Thoughts on that hire? I know everyone's really excited because people want new blood, right? And we're getting a guy who was a part of the Patriots dynasty for about 10 years as the wide receivers coach over there. And that's a good example of a team that didn't really draft wide receivers high, but they made the most out of the guys they did have in New England. They got the best of all those guys throughout that dynasty period for New England. JD, talk about Chad O'Shea.
Well, I mean, Chad is just a high caliber guy. He really is. Very intellectual type of dude that will bring in and tell you everything to the T. And I'm telling you, he's very particular with the things he does, explains things very well. But also, too, just a great all-around guy. He really is. He knows his stuff really well. He does. I'm trying to think what else, man, to say about Chad, man. Chad is just like when you see him when he comes in, he was just a young guy when I was out there in Kansas City, just kind of coming in and just watching him grow. And I just seen him last year and talking to him. Just, we gave each other a big old hug, talked a little bit about our family, see how everything was going. But that's the type of guy that Chad is. He's going to show up in times that you don't think, but he's just a good all-around just guy. Knowledge in the game is exactly what you need. I'm telling you, like ins and outs. He's watched. Let me say, just from when he was here with the Chiefs, he had Charlie Joyner as a wide receiver coach. He was watching everything like that. He watched Al Saunders, who was a wide receiver coach when they had the greatest show on turf. And how we used to practice and things he used to say. So I know he comes from just that world of understanding, like this is how it's supposed to be. When guy's supposed to be at your depth, this is what it has to be. You can't fool the quarterback, but he's going to be, like I said, very particular on the things that he's teaching and coaching. And he's going to do a great job of it too. The guys are going to love him in that room. They need a guy like him. They need a guy like Chad.
Teja, I know we talked earlier before this hire happened, and I know you were a part of the new blood. There's two sections of fans. Some fans are elated that we're bringing back guys like Eric Bieniemy, and there's some who just wanted new blood, new faces, new fresh voices. What are your thoughts on the Chad O'Shea hire? I know a lot of people are excited about this one, and I'm seeing in the comments here. I think someone just even said it like that. Not gonna lie, I'm more excited about O'Shea coming in. So there's people who are excited about having a veteran wide receivers coach coming to town.
Yeah, he was also their passing game coordinator too.
In Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah, so and they had it was pretty competent. The receiving room is pretty rough. So to make it look passable with Judy, who's really like a average number 2. He's a number 1. Tillman, who just has never been healthy. So they've been banged up. And underperforming, but he made it look passable, even with a rookie quarterback, right? I like the hire. I have been in the new blood hire for Bieniemy, but it's just not what they were looking for. I think people wanted it to be something they desired out of the coaching search, and that's just not what they were looking for out there. They weren't looking for new blood. They were just looking for a complement to Reed's style. And Reed needs, just like a bulldog out there to get these guys into line, into shape, to send shivers. So they didn't want like a, boy genius out there drawing up the new offense for the next 10 years. They don't want that. So I'm not that upset because that's not what they were looking for. Right. So it doesn't really matter. They got what they wanted, and what they want is someone to keep the guys in check, hold them accountable. I do think it's funny though, this whole accountability conversation. Like, this is six-time? I mean, like, what have we been in? How many Super Bowls in the past 7 years? You need someone to come in and hold people accountable. Like, these guys can't do that. You need to shake up your offensive coordinator to get someone to hold professionals that have had 8 winning seasons on the same core to be accountable for their bad season. I just think that's kind of silly. But
I'll explain it to you. What ends up happening is, man, you become complacent. There's a lot of complacency there. And so when you start having success, guys start feeling themselves a little bit too much, Teja. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they stuff don't stink. So when they come in, who's going to tell these guys, hey, man, that ain't what you do. Hey, man, you need to be on time. Hey, guy, you got to be at this depth. And so you don't need a friend. EB's not there to be your friend. He's not. He's there to make you better and get the most out of you. That's what EB is going to do. And so EB is sitting there saying, look, we're here to win a championship. I'm going to show you what it means and what it takes to win a championship. And if you're not giving me that, then you are not going to play. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a first-round pick. I don't care how big your contract is. None of that matters. What all that matters is team and everybody winning. And so what ends up happening is you got young guys who don't quite understand the culture, right? They just know they're coming into a championship team, right? And so they just think the work's going to be easy. Well, shoot, we're going to get back every single year. And what people don't quite understand is how hard, the desire, the dedication, that it takes for guys to be on the same page day in and day out. And so you can't have any chinks in the armor. You can't. You can't have some dude over here that's not on the same page. He kind of gets it, but he quite doesn't, right? Well, who's going to tell him the bad news? And he's trying to take everything that's in there in the organization. And then, I'm sure Nagy he get on guys, he say some things, but Nagy was kind of more of he's in the head coach mode, he's trying to be everybody's friend, and he talks, hey, okay, well, we'll work with this and do. And then EB's going to be like, no, if I'm telling you it's at 12 yards, I mean 12 yards. Not 13, not 12 and a half, not 11, 12, period. And I don't want to hear anything else about it. And he'll call them out so everybody knows where he stands with it. So the next joker that tries it, they already know, okay, well, it ain't going to work. And so what we have here, this is part of this culture that's coming out of college too. You know what I mean? These guys is getting paid this NIL money. It's almost
they're getting paid NFL money, you mean?
Yeah, well, really, NFL money.
They're getting paid NFL money, more than NFL money.
Yeah. And so now they stuff don't stink. It don't. So they already come in, like I said, man, with a whole different arrogance to them. And it's sickening for some guys. And some guys are just playful. They don't quite understand what work really means. And so EB's going to show them how to get into shape. He'll tell somebody. He'll call them out. Hey, get your fat off the couch. You ain't doing enough work. You're not. You think you are. You think you know what hard works mean. You think you know what it means to be a professional, but this is exactly what it means to be a professional. And so that's what happens. And look, it happens all around the league. That's why, when you sit there, you're talking about Jerry Jeudy and certain guys. I was talking to a dude that played in the league, Derek Ramsey. Derek Ramsey played with the old Raiders, played with the New England Patriots. And Derek said, man, when he came in as a rookie, he said, you couldn't even play your first year. He said the only one that played as a rookie was Marcus Allen. Everybody else probably had to wait 2 or 3 years before you even got a shot on the field. And then you try to wait around. But now you got the expectation, you first round pick, you the guy, right? So you immediately get thrust in okay, we're going to put a crown and everything on you. and you done. You've already arrived, and it just ain't so.
I'd also love to see the difference in the cap percentage of the highest paid player on a team then compared to now, because what you're seeing now is one guy takes up like 45% of a team's cap. So you need these young guys to come in and play right away because you just can't afford to have competent veterans everywhere. You have to get guys who are taking a 1-year cheaper deal, or a guy who's like really young who showed promise, or you just have to play more younger guys now. You have no choice because the salary cap's just different now.
Well, but that's why it's even more important when a guy does come in, you let him know right now, man, look, you're not at Texas. You're not at Sister Mary DePoy. You ain't at Penn State no more. He ain't at BYU or Cal. None of that matters. All that matters is you've done nothing in the NFL. Absolutely zero. So let's go ahead and get that straight, okay? How do you make and earn your way? Is doing the right things. Do the little things the right way, okay? Taking notes in meetings. Like when I'm sitting there, I'm listening to like older guys like Ed Reed. I just like in my era, we took notes on everything. We wrote everything down. And Ed Reed, when he was sitting there saying, when he was in Baltimore, when he first got there, he was looking at guys. He said, how are we going to win and none of these guys are taking notes? You can't retain the information like you think you can. You're going to go out there and I'm expecting you to get on your iPad at night and actually watch plays. But I know you're probably in there playing video games and all whatever else. And I see you on social media all the time. Shoot, you should have been studying your plays. I know if I'm a coach, I'd have been saying that. If a sucker runs the wrong route or do something wrong, well, I seen you on social media all last night. How you not know your play? How you not know?
Or where the out of bounds line is.
That too. Hey, man.
I'm not saying names. I'm not saying any names. I'm just saying it happens.
Situation, right? Just a situation like, hey man, have some field awareness to you, right?
Especially in your second year. Again, not saying any names. I'm just saying it happens to people in their second year. That's all.
Hey, look, the drops, no, sir. Can't have it.
Yeah.
Cannot have it. And I guarantee, I tell you what, not saying that the wide receiver room was bad, because it wasn't. We had a pretty good wide receiver room, but probably could have gotten more. EB would have thrusted a Jalen Royals in immediately, just to put everybody on notice. Like, we don't care who you are. That's what EB would have done.
And O'Shea and EB wouldn't be letting Rashid Rice get away with some of those lazy or slant routes he was running towards mid-season.
Oh, come
on. Yeah. But a solid day. I know Chief fans wanted a different name, but hey, we got EB back. And also, JD, just talk about the fact that, like, it tells you what a player means to a locker room when, like, you have defensive players like Chris Jones sharing. I mean, because this is the OC, not the head coach, not defensive coordinator, not the linebacker, not defensive line coach. This is the offensive coordinator, and you have defensive players sharing the story, saying, let's go, being excited about it. I think that tells you so much about what EB brings to the locker room as a whole, not just the offensive side.
That's right, because he's going to challenge the defense too. They can be talking smack out there at practice. And so, Chris, they need that sometimes. They need to hear that from, the offensive side of the football. You ain't doing good enough. And what EB will do, he'll go over to Chris like, hey, man, you could have been better on this play. But I'm watching you, you're not giving enough. And so EB goes talks to everybody. As a running back, you don't just have, as a coordinator, all those guys are yours. I know you have particular, like, coach, but you're always giving counsel. You should get some counsel from somebody who knows what they're doing. And so Chris and them, EB's going to talk to him. Hey, man, shoot. Yeah, you need to give a little bit more than what you did, man. You gave up on that last one, big fella. What are you doing that for?
Yeah.
Come on. You better than that. You better than that. So.
Yeah. Get something a little more out of her running backs, too, because that's the enemy's bread and butter, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's his bread and butter, and we need to see more out of that group as well.
We need to see more out of that, and we will get it out of him with EB in there. He will. Yep. He will teach him the vision. And look, I'm going to say this, okay? Look, it happens in the NFL that certain guys get pushed around to coach different positions. That's just what you do because you're trying to help them expand and extend, their their knowledge, but also to give them chances and opportunity to go different places, maybe in a different capacity, right? And so I get Ty was out there as a running back. And then you got Connor right there at the wide receiver. Connor was a running back. Ty was a wide receiver. But they had them guys switch playing. I get it, because that's how it is all around the league. I don't care where where you check. Usually you have coaches that may not have played that position that are coaching different ones. But EB, without a doubt, being a running back, will teach them the vision, teach them the junction points, what they're expecting, how the hole breathes. He's going to get everything out of them guys. He's going to be their eyes, and they're going to understand the language that he's speaking. They're going to, and that's key, man. When you sit over and speaking the language, it's different.
It is good.
Yeah.
It's also good because hiring a really experienced receiver, EB can kind of lean, not to say he can like not pay attention to receivers, but he can lean into the running back room a little more, knowing he has a very experienced receivers coach there.
Oh yeah, man. Chad, man. I'm telling you, Chad's gonna be so awesome for the team. I mean, I'm these two hires in itself, man, just made me. I'm so glad. Just
feel good.
Two dudes,
Feel
I
good.
do.
Good.
These are two guys I know. That's what I'm saying, Teja. I know both these dudes, and so I will go to battle with these guys.
That's
have. So that's
the
my
first.
guys right there,
That's
man.
the first part of it. We got that. We're getting that part down. Now we just need the right soldiers to do battle with.
That's right. And they gonna sharpen them up too. We don't. Hey, look, they don't care what soldier comes in. That sucker's gonna be a well-oiled machine when it gets finished. I'll tell you that.
And also too, having and I'm not knocking Connor Emery at all. Younger guy, and we did have a room full of young guys. And going into 2026, we only have 3 on the roster right now, but we're talking about a second-year guy in Royals, a third-year guy in Worthy, and I believe going to the 4th year for Rashee Rice. So we have 3 dudes who are still on the rookie contracts. To have a guy like Chad O'Shea, who's been around the block for a long time, I believe he's almost 60 years old. 53 years old. 53 years old. We have an older guy, and I'm not saying the guys didn't take Connor Emery seriously at all, but there is a little bit of like when you are closer in age to someone, it's a little different from like talking to an OG, an unk, like as Chad O'Shea will be to these guys. So I feel like there is going to be a little bit more of like a taking whatever this guy says is like looking at his history, looking where he's been. They're going to be like kind of in awe of him. Whereas Connor Emery, there must have been these young guys, right? There's not much of a body of work there to like for these guys to be like, oh, okay, I'll take everything you say seriously. Not saying they didn't do that, but I was saying there's a little bit different when you have an older guy who's been around the block, and especially for young guys, they can take it seriously a little bit more.
Well, it's respect, but also too, because sometimes you get young guys that could, like I said, speaking the language, but you could be too much of speaking the language that you might be chumming up with dudes too much. And I'm not saying that Connor didn't do that. Like I said, I know Connor. Connor is a good coach, and he comes from a football family. That's the thing about it. So I know he's learned how to coach. He's been around it in his entire life, football. So I don't think that the failure was him in itself. But like you said, Chad will be all business. It's gonna be all business. Chad. Not saying that Chad won't chum it up with guys, but he's like, hey, guys, this is what we need to do. The guys are going to come in. They're going to sit up. It's not going to be – I don't know how dudes do it. Me being a coach, look, I've had young guys come in and sometimes they throw the hoodie on or sit back and all – man. And I just think about my time, teaching young people. And you got to invest the time, but they got to know that you care. But they also need to know that you're not playing around either. And so, Chad is going to give that to them. It's going to look totally different. When they come back in, playtime is over. Playtime is over.
Love it. I love it. I mean, when I saw that he started his NFL coaching career in 2003, I was like, oh, wow, that's our time, baby. And so I texted you right away, and then I texted Coach Saunders to see what he thought about him. Of course, ringing endorsement that night. He brought him into the fold back in the day. So, love that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Teja, you kind of alluded to running backs in this episode, me being back. Perfect day to talk about the running back situation in Kansas City and in the offseason coming up here. So tonight we're going to take a deep dive into what our current running back room looks like, who our departures are currently, what the free agency landscape looks like, and then, of course, the best available in the upcoming draft. So this is going to be a very deep dive look into the running backs across the landscape, guys. So I'm very excited about this one. And if you notice, guys, we started with D-line last week, and then we went to running backs. So two probably the higher positions of need for us. So we wanted to kind of attack the two higher positions of need. So let's dig in. So some eye-opening ones. Of course, looking at our free agent room, pretty much our entire running back room is free agents. Isaiah Pacheco, free agent. Kareem Hunt, free agent. And, of course, poor guy, Damian Pierce, didn't really get to see the light of day. Free agent as well. We talked about an overhaul, and naturally we're going to have an overhaul here with all these guys being free agents in the running back room. JD, Teja, what are your thoughts when you look at seeing our running back room and all the guys who are going to be free agents, not the guys who are still on contract, but these are the guys who are free agents? What does this say to you?
They pretty much, they was kind of knowing this time was going to come. It wasn't going to be a long-term deal with any of these guys, but you may bring a couple of these guys back in camp to see what they can do and let them battle it out. So Kareem Hunt, best third down back in the business, without a doubt. Damian Pierce, we know, injury kind of hurt him down there in Houston, but we might be able to see if we could get something out of him. Is he going to sign another deal? He's another back that you could definitely utilize. And then Pac, man, Pac is, he's been here, and I think if he's not signing a deal, they try to keep him. They might let him go in free agency, see what he can do, see what he can go. So that's my thought on this.
Tej, what do you think of the free agents that we have in the running back room?
I would probably only bring Hunt back in a short yardage capacity.
Yeah,
maybe Pierce to compete in camp. That's it. As far as like outlook on touches for the next NFL season, Hunt in a short yardage capacity, situational back.
Is that where you would go to, JD? That'd be probably the guy you bring back, Kareem Hunt, in his fixed role that he had this year, which he was phenomenal at.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it was great last year. You need those tough yardage, and the Kareem's going to provide it for you. Like I said, I think, I bring Pierce in for a camp, see what he can give. If he earns his spot, then he earned it, right? So that's how it goes.
Now, let me ask you, if you were Damian Pierce and you signed with Kansas City thinking you were going to get some good touches, and you didn't get those touches or much playing time at all, would there be a little bit of I'm good on Kansas City. I'm not coming back? Could you see him not coming back?
No, man, shoot, man. His agent's been on the phone since the season ended. No, I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, it's how it works, man, in NFL. You're not beholden to anybody. I mean, you don't have a contract. True. So why would I wait around and see what Kansas City's going to do? I'm reaching out to other teams like, hey, man, Damian Pierce, Chiefs sat him down, didn't really get to play him. So he's fresh. He's ready to go by next season. You see what he did in his rookie year. He gave some good yards. He was the number one back down in Texas for a little bit until, he got hurt, and then, he wasn't. But now he's got a shot. You might want this guy on your team. So it's just, I'm blowing up the phone, reaching out to everybody. I'm going to his agent. If I'm his agent, I'm going to Combine. I'm going to all the spots. Talk to the coaches. Talk to everybody.
Until we sign somebody, though, we're a pretty good destination for a running back because it's wide open. So he should still be very interested just because, start fresh, come to camp, 0-0, start from scratch. So yeah.
Obviously, I hope we bring back Kareem Hunt. I think what the role we kind of used him in this year, and it kind of showed you the way we used him this year. And when Pacheco was out, we never really committed to him outside the Colts game where he had 30 carries. We never really committed to him as that full feature back role, even when Pacheco was down. And even the games, he had like 11 carries in the game was without Pacheco. And it's like, what do we be outside the Colts game? So it really tells you they do see him pigeonholed in that short yardage role. And I do think there is an affinity on both sides. We love him, and he loves Kansas City. So I do see him coming back and can maybe keeping him in that short yardage role, regardless of what we do for agency as far as our either sign or draft somebody. I think he's going to be our short yardage back next year. So if I had to bet money on it, I would take Kareem Hunt as far as coming back.
Yeah. He's also a good example of what a running back looks like, right? I mean, he doesn't have the springiness anymore, but like if you're a B enemy and let's say we have a young running back and let's say you're running drills and the guy just can't get it right. But you know what? Kareem, come over here. Watch Kareem do this. You put Kareem through that drill and, be like, if you do that the way he did that, you'll run it for 40 yards in that play. Because that rookie running back probably got much more spring in his legs than Kareem does, but he's not doing it the right way. Mm-hmm. You can't just rely on talent. It's the NFL. Everyone's got that resume. So you need to do it the right way and be really talented. So Kareem is just an example setter to have in your locker room, period, right? A guy who's going to run that drill the correct way. So there's definitely an advantage to that.
Yeah,
100%. And you say, look at him. You do that, you be in the NFL for 10 years, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your talent, yeah.
Yeah. So I do hope they bring back Kareem. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Dameon Pierce. I will say this. If Dameon Pierce did come back to Kansas City, it would make sense as to why he signed with us in the first place. Because otherwise, if he doesn't come back, that whole midseason signing makes absolutely no sense to me at all. I was baffled by his lack of usage in the final 5 games of the season after he signed him. But if he does come back, okay, it makes sense to me now as to why he signed. They probably talked about, hey, bring him coming on next year.
Look, it's what it looks like to me. You get Kareem. Dameon Pierce is a good back. Man, he's a solid guy. He is. He's a solid back. Then you got Bashar Smith, and you get a guy. You get a free agent, or if you draft someone. So, but it's got to be somebody high caliber. I think we're gonna get a free agent guy. That's 4 guys that you got just in case somebody gets hurt. A guy can fill in, right? And so that's how you always got to prepare for somebody. And so get Dameon Pierce in his system right now so he knows and understands exactly what's going on. Down to y'all being him in the room, he could talk to these guys right now. So they may already think like, hey, man, we want to bring you back for this, for the foreseeable future. If not, they'll just tell him, hey, man, we're thinking about moving on from you. They would have just said that. So do we get a long letter from Dameon Pierce like everybody else? When you start seeing those long letters, it's like, oh.
I don't think we got one. No Instagram post or anything saying thank you, Kansas City. Nothing like that.
Maybe it's like 2.5 weeks. He's not getting a letter.
No, I'm just saying.
You get one of these out the door is what you're getting.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know people. He's like, I don't know who they do.
Shoot.
Yeah, I couldn't find any photos on him. So I went on our Chiefs website, couldn't find anything. Went to Instagram, and I found the only photo I found was the bottom right there was him walking out of the tunnel during the last game of the season. But yeah, it was tough. It was a tough find, and I think it was either a fan-sided Chiefs article where they talk about Dameon Pierce. The photo was a picture of Mike Edwards. They thought Dameon Pierce was wearing number 34. So no one it was hard to find a photo of Dameon Pierce in a Chiefs uniform outside of his practice uniform. So yeah.
He got a couple carries in the game, didn't he?
He did.
Tell you what, he probably would have been picked up by Seattle this week if he just hung around on the wire.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But again, it would make more sense if they do bring him back next year. It makes sense as to why he signed with us. So, let's go. And Witchy Hall says, "Who is that, and what do they do with Teja?" Because you were the anti-Kareem Hunt guy last year, and now you want him back as an example for the young guys. Look at you.
I just don't want to have 15. I don't want to have 15 carries in games. I'll say that now. I'll notice even in my compliment, it was. EB would say, hey, Kareem, show him how to do this. Like, that will go for 10 yards. But if you do it, fill in the blank young player, and he'll go over 40 yards. So even my compliment was still a little backhanded.
Yeah, you want to keep him around. And last year, you want him out.
Absolutely, he's a good vet.
There you go. See, changes. You've changed, buddy. 2026, a new you. All right, so these are the running backs that are returning. So I only thought we had Brashard Smith returning, and then I looked up, and we actually have Derek Powell, a running back that we picked up, and he's on. I think he got signed a futures deal. Futures deal, yeah. I played for the Eagles last year. Had a touchdown in a preseason game. I believe he went to Weber State. I want to say Weber State is college. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but a small school nonetheless. But Brashard Smith and him are the only two running backs on our roster going into the 2026 offseason. So obviously lots of room for improvement here with this room right now. What is this? What is this? What we're looking at right here? What does this tell you about our plans for this offseason coming up here?
We're gonna tap somebody. We tapping somebody. That's for daggone sure. That's what it tells me. We are tapping somebody for sure.
Means our shopping cart tabs.
That's
open.
right.
Means we're searching for RBs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means.
It's on the grocery list for sure. Hey,
oh man, it's
Don't
up
get
there,
that running
it's up
back,
there
man.
with eggs and milk.
yeah. You got somebody that had a running back with about 1,500 yards on.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. We can put that on the grill. Let that happen. Marinate that thing.
So Derek Powell went to North Alabama for 2 years, and then he went to Central Arkansas for 2 years, and he was an undrafted guy in 2025. So
North Alabama, is that where Tyreek Hill played?
I think so, actually. Yeah, I think that was where he went after he left Oklahoma State. I think you're right. Let me make double check on that. West Alabama, it looks like.
West Alabama, okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma State to West Alabama.
Okay.
But obviously, so we have Brashard Smith. We got to see a little glimpse of him at the end of the season, and we were hoping to see a little bit more from him. But seeing Brashard Smith and the guys who are returning, what kind of role do you think Brashard Smith can make out for us? I know we've talked about before that he could be a Jerick McKinnon type of guy as far as receiving back out of the backfield. He needs to elevate his pass protection. That was one of the things they said he needed to work on in the offseason or in training camp. But what kind of role do you think Brashard Smith can have going forward with us? I mean, obviously we don't know much about Derek Powell. Probably a camp body, I'll say. But Brashard Smith, I feel like, is a guy who can be an asset to us. We saw a little bit of what he could be towards the end of the season this past year.
If he is limited in some of the pass protection, I'm fine with that. As long as he do, a couple of things really well. And one thing he can do really well is he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And not only that, what we've seen also too, what he can do in college, and we should have been giving him some looks this season, and he can run in between the tackles. He's very fast. He's elusive. I think if we had played him, he would have gotten that vision. He would have gotten to that place, man, and we just didn't do it. So maybe they were thinking, hey, man, look, this young guy, let's not break him up. Let him come in, fresh legs for next year, so he can still hear all those things. Teja, like you were saying, from Kareem Hunt, maybe Isaiah Pacheco, he's sitting back. Learn what you need to learn. And so now they're saying now the time is yours. Now it depends on who we go get out of free agency or if you get somebody in the draft that way. Brashard Smith is going to be a part of our offense next year. And I would think a significant part. And it wouldn't make any sense that he wouldn't. He's got too much to him, man. He's got too much talent, too much juice, too much athleticism that he shouldn't be having to have the ball in his hand at least 4 or 5 times a game. In every capacity. I'm just saying, shoot, he should have at least 10 carries or whatever it may be, but at least 5 in his hand every single game he has a target. So
pass catcher for sure. He's kind of like the pass catching version of Kareem Hunt in my mind. I think it all depends on who we bring in, like the big gun we bring in. I think that'll kind of determine who the secondary player is. I think he should definitely, and I think he should have been getting this a lot more last season on top of getting touches on offense is more special teams. I want to see him kick and punt return more. He looked pretty good. I mean, he 3 for 76 in week 16, 2 for 50, week 14, 2 for 55 punt return week 16. So he was like one of the main kick and punt returners that game. Yeah, I think it'd be nice to have one of the running backs be our return man who has a place in the offense, who's not just there to return, unless you're just like spectacular at it. Like if you are, we have no choice. You are that much of a game breaker. We have to keep you on as a return man. Sure. Otherwise, you need a guy who plays a functional part of the offense who can also return, especially like the way I was listening to Rand Carthon. He was talking about how like the kick return game has evolved so much that it's really like the first play of your offense. It's not really a return anymore. It's a run play. He said the way blocks line up on kick returns now, how short the guy, how much less distance guys run to get to it. It's a blocking. It's a run play. So it's best. He goes, I would like running backs out there returning those because who better to run a run play than a running back. So it makes sense as to why he looked pretty good. I like to see more of it though.
Yeah, and I think this past weekend, and I know when you look at, we talked about it last week when we watched the playoffs, the pass rush is pretty evident with a lot of teams that were still around this past weekend, the teams that are going to this coming weekend. But outside of that, if you look, the return game was huge for a bunch of teams this past weekend, i.e. Bears, Devin Duvernay, who, he can flip the game. He called a punt return at the 5-yard line. Looked like that was going nowhere, and to take it to the 20. Little things like that. And, of course, Rashid Shaheed in Seattle, and how, right out the gate, you see a big play, and then they never look back after that kick return. So having a guy who can be that, and also, too, having a guy who's going to be involved in your offense, too. Because I feel like Nico Remigio, it was great last year's playoffs towards the end of the season. But, that's it, right? That was all he was giving us, right? To have a guy who can be an asset offensively, but as well as kick return and special teams, you are getting someone who can do a little bit of both. It's not just someone we're wasting a roster spot on one guy for this 100%. Thing. Whereas you have Rashard, who's a part of the running back room, and does a lot of things in the offense. On top of that, he's getting returns, and like Teja mentioned, the numbers there towards the end of the season, he was looking like the real deal from the return game. To have a full season of that, I think it would definitely pay off dividends for sure with Rashard. And also, JD, I don't think we've talked about this. Dave Tobe's coming back. I know a lot of fans are pretty pissed off about that. I think outside of this past year, I thought Tobe has been a pretty dang good special teams coach throughout his history, and I think people are just kind of recency bias, where they just look at what we look like this year, and so they wanted him gone because of that. And you saw a lot of the recency bias across the board with a lot of our coaches, right? I mean, I've seen many fans say Andy Reid should go because of one bad year. But Tobe coming back, are you okay with that?
Yeah. I like Tobe, man. I think Tobe is straight up and down, man. Yeah, look, you can't play for guys. You can beat your head into the ground until, jokers just don't get it. Some don't. And then when you start looking around like, man, who do we got to come down here and make a play? And, regulate it to the certain guys to be here. They got to play special teams. I can't keep I ain't going to put Nick Bolton out there for special teams. Can't do it. Nick don't need to play special teams. Is he going to make a tackle? Sure. But we need for you to make a tackle. Jack, or whoever else is out there, you need to make a tackle. Bossa, y'all guys got to get it right. And so what we seen last year was some of that discipline. Harrison Buckner missing field goals and extra points. And I mean, it was kind of a weird year for us. Offense, like at the special teams wise, it was.
I think it's a big year for Butker and Tobe. If we have a bad year on both of them, next year's a get out year for Butker. So, if they don't look the part, then done.
And Laura Zinser's kind of says here, discipline from EB will move on to everyone. And kind of ties into what you were talking about with Rand Carthon, how that isn't your first offensive play. If you got Jack Cochran holding on kick return, I'll tell you what, you get back to the sideline, EB's going to be in his ass for holding 2 times in a row. Not just Dave Tobe, but EB's going to be in his ass probably for doing that because he's putting your offense in a hole there. So, yeah, I think that same kind of vibe that EB's bringing to the offensive room, I think it will also rub off on the other guys as well, the Jack Cochrans of the world.
Yeah, he might not get on him. He'll make sure Dave got on him. You just You don't want to step on toes as a coach. Now, you could cuss somebody out, and you could be on one side of the field and he's on the other. He can hear everything you're saying. Who's this MF or holding all the time? Who's that? Who's that on, coach? Right? And so you make him shrink a little bit, but he's not going to go jump in Jackson. He's not going to do that. No.
But like you said, there are like ways to get around that without going to the guy's face and like making sure he hears you yelling about something.
Oh, yeah. You yell. Yeah. Hey, God, we're always starting on the back because somebody's always holding. Got some old jacket doing it. Who is that?
Yeah. So, Brashard Smith, hopefully they get to utilize all his strengths this coming year. All right. So now we get to the fun part, the free agents. I know there's a lot of people who want us to go Jeremiah Love. We'll get to the rookies, guys. Don't you worry. But here are the free agents amongst probably one of the best free agency running back classes in a very long time. I was looking at the list from top to bottom. It's a dang good class. Obviously, some of these guys, we don't want to be our RB1, but I can see, like Austin Eckler, for example, not a bad passing down guy. If they want to go that route with him, they want to sign 2 running backs. But Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Kenneth Gainwell, Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier are the top names to watch for this running back class. Breece Hall is the one to probably be expected to get paid the most. Spot Track has him getting around $10 million a year. J.K. Dobbins second with $9 million a year, which is surprising. Kenneth Walker about $8 million a year. Javonte $7 million a year. Travis Etienne $6 million, and Rico Dowdle $6 million as well. So those are kind of the bigger names. And I'm just curious, looking at the free agency class, what stands out to you, or better yet, who stands out to you in this upcoming free agency class, guys?
There's some older names, guys has been in the league for a while. Some older names, I don't think we go that route because we had Kareem Hunt. And so those guys, you just move on past some guys. Don't even look on that side. Some of them dudes. I think you have to go for the big name, the main guys. First 5 guys you think is going to be fit into what you do well. It's going to be had. So it's going to be Breece, Walker, Etienne, Dowdle. Oh man, who else on here? I'm just like
Rachaad White's a big name Chief fans are picking out at because I think he's from the Kansas City area, so naturally people are big fans of him. But like,
we'll say him.
For me with him, it's if you get him, you're probably going to draft a guy in the draft in the early. If you go Rachaad White, because Rachaad White is what I hope we are able to utilize Brashard Smith as a guy who can be a passing down option and maybe spell a couple carries here and there. That's where I kind of see Brashard Smith being that guy. But I know a lot of Chief fans in the Kansas City area like Rachaad White because naturally he's from that area. But as what Breece Hall is also from that area as well. He went to Iowa State, grew up in Kansas. So there are some hometown guys in this one. But Rachaad White's a popular name. Chief fans keep bringing up.
I think you go get one guy. That's what you're gonna hang your hat on to one guy. Okay, you're gonna go all in, either in the draft or free agency. That's what's gonna happen. Other than that, I think you got everybody else in the room that you need that's gonna be able to fill in the spot. Because all of a sudden it just gets crowded. Who's getting touches in the room, and that's really what it is. That's what it boils down to.
But you're assuming we re-sign some of the guys because right now we only have like one guy who might get touches next year.
Brashard Smith, Kareem Hunt, David Pierce. And then you go get your free agent guy to go all in on another guy. And that's your 4. That's your 4 guys you need. That's it. You don't need anybody else. You don't. Because, like you said, Brashard Smith fits that role. He'll have an even greater role when you get the guy that you want in here. And I think they know what they got in Brashard Smith. He showed a lot of it this past year. I think that changes our mind as far as like some of these guys out here, like you said, who you're going to go get. But I think you had to go in on your bell cow, right? Who you want that to be.
Yeah, I really think it comes down to like, Are you looking for a guy to be your 3-down guy? Are you looking for a guy to be a complement to either give you the first 2 downs, to be your 3rd down? Like, for instance, Walker, I think you have to pair him with a bruiser. They've tried making him the main guy in the past, and he just doesn't hold up well. He gets injured a lot. He gets nicked up. I think this is one of his best years because they paired him with a guy who takes some of those between the tackle bruising shots. So I think if you are going to get Walker, I think you do need a guy who can absorb some of those short yardage, plays. Breece Hall, I think, would be your guy to be the 3-down guy. I think that's if you're going to do that, I don't think you need to do much after that other than like an insurance policy. Algier, I love. I think he runs so hard. I think if you go Algier, though, you need a little more of that kind of speed demon home run threat too. So I just think it depends who you go after. Rico, I think you probably pair with a bruiser and insurance policy. He's kind of like a do-it-all player too in his own right. I mean,
He is.
If they didn't have Chuba there, I mean, Rico would have had like probably 1,400 yards this season. So that's an interesting one too. What does he do? And because he's gone. I mean, he's definitely gone at this point. He's proved it, man. It's 2 years in a row. He could prove he could be a back. So that's another guy that you maybe want to just have just like a home run threat with him. But yeah, I think it really depends on who you go and how you pivot from there.
Who are your top 3 if you could rank it in order and give a slip to Veach saying these are the top 3 guys I want? What would be the order you go? And I know both you guys probably Breece number 1. And obviously we were so close. We were that close to the trading for him with the 4th round pick. So I do think naturally he is the top guy for us. That's my guess, just based on how close we were to that trade. And seeing in here, Arrowhead Corner said that Breece was devastated when we did not make that trade, and he pretty much made it known on his social media accounts. He was devastated about it. But who would be the other 2 for you guys?
Walker and Algier.
Walker and Algier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go Walker, and it had to be either Rico or Etienne, one of those 2. Go ahead.
I thought Teja was going to say Etienne as number 3. You going Algier or Etienne? Why? It sounds like you're not a big Etienne fan, Teja. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm just never that impressed when I watch Etienne play. I think he's a good player, but for what he's going to want, which is a contract close to like Breece Hall, 8-9 a year compared to like what Algier is probably going to be like 3-4 a year. And Algier, man, like if Algier was the main back in Atlanta, he'd have like 1,400 yards rushing. Like, let's not kid around here. Algier is their preferred 4th quarter closer over Bijan Robinson. Like, think of it that. Like, they have the best running back probably in football, top 3 back in football, and they choose to go Algier in the 4th quarter over him. Like, he does something that much better than one of the best backs in football. So I just think that when you have that good of a skill, and it's something that we don't have and we haven't had in quite some time, probably since like rookie 2nd year Kareem Hunt, a guy who's just going to just keep feeding him. He'll get 5-6 yards every time. Do I still want a home run threat? Yes, I still want that. But I'd rather have Algier and a home run threat in like the draft and save like $5 million a season over getting Etienne, personally.
One thing about Algier that I'll go back to is the year before they drafted Bijan had 1,000 yards, averaged about 5 yards a carry that 1 year, and they drafted Bijan the following year, which is still an interesting move. They did that. Obviously, Bijan's a not generational talent, but one of the best backs in the league.
They wanted the home run threat with him. They're
Yeah.
exactly doing what I'm saying to do with him. He was cheap. He was a mid-late round pick. They weren't spending a lot of money on him. They're like, let's just get a guy who just does the one thing that he really can't do at an extremely high level.
I don't watch Algier all this season. I don't watch too much of the Falcons at all. But I know what he's done in the past. And it was kind of like they kind of settled with Algier. You know, he's just like, okay, came in, gave you what you needed. But that's the reason they went and got, like you said, a Bijan Robinson. It was like, shoot, we need to get a guy in here. Algiers is okay to have, but we need to have a guy. And so I think for that, like you said, I think you got to go all in for the guy. You know, he's got to be the guy. Bashar compliments that. Kareem compliments that. Damon could probably give you something too, depending on what it is. I mean, what game, how healthy it is. He is. Because, I mean, ultimately, if you think about it, Kareem Hunt, Damon Pierce, they all been starters in this league. And you start looking over at all these other guys over here. It's like, shoot, hey, man, we got that. We got that. Look, so out of this list right here, I'm just going as I was going PFF and this list. Top 16 of these names on here. Okay. You got Walker. You got obviously you got Brees. You got White. From 17 on 33, you got Dobbins, Williams, Gainwell, Etienne, and Kareem Hunt is right behind Etienne on this. And then you got Algiers behind Kareem. Then the lower guys after that, let me see where we go. Shoot, all these other guys don't really show up nowhere. So that's what they was graded out at. You know, everybody talking about Kareem, man, but Kareem, he graded out, man. Shoot, Kareem was, he graded out 72.2.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a backfield Brees and Kareem Hunt would be, and Brashard Smith would be nice, and then Damien Pierce to come in if anyone needs to be everyone's injured or whatnot.
Ideal. I mean, that's that for real. If you trying to do it right, let's just sit there and say, hey man, you want this guy to be, and mind you, we're talking about a guy that is going to be paired with Patrick Mahomes for the foreseeable future for these next 4 or 5 years, right? That's what you want to do. You want to give him that compliment. So all that stuff is not on him. So I think you had to go with a Brees Hall. You had to go with him if you can. And that's going all in. Bashard Smith at that time could get to a place where he becomes that much better. And let's say you draft somebody a little bit later that you think like, okay, this might be a steal of the draft. You know, bring him in and see what happens with him. But I think you had to be all in on Brees, man.
Yeah. And I think someone asked in the comments earlier who's the youngest running back in free agency. The Walker? Two youngest are Keaton Mitchell, the restricted free agent. So Keaton Mitchell is a restricted free agent. Sean Tucker's a restricted free agent. Keaton Mitchell's 24 on the dot. Sean Tucker's 24.2. And Brees Hall, 24.6. He's the youngest unrestricted free agent running back. So Brees Hall at 24.6, 24 and a half years of age. He's the youngest running back in free agency. So
pretty young, underused group in general.
Yeah, I mean, in an era with most teams having committees, you're going to see a lot of underutilized running backs as far as not having that much tread on the tires as far as yesteryear. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to continue to see running back free agencies like this where guys don't have a lot of tread on their tires with the rise of running back by committees.
Yeah. I love the way Dobbins runs, just the injuries, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
But the way he runs, man, we totally use. I love the way he runs. He do so well in our offense. Just you would need to get him. You need to get another really, really reliable name there to pair with him.
That sucker, man, he'll break a toenail walking into the room. He'd be out for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Mr. Glass, man. I like Dobbins too, man, but he's got it. You can't rely on that. It hurts too much.
Algier hasn't missed a game in his career.
Okay. Should I hope not? He's playing 30% of the time with Bijan Robinson.
How old is Algier? How old is
does it matter? What does that matter nowadays?
Algier is he's one of the younger ones in this class. 25.8. Yep.
He'll be 26 by the time next season comes around.
Okay.
So it looks like the youngest unrestricted free agents: Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker. Javonte Williams,
Javonte.
Algier are the youngest.
It's a young group.
Yeah, man. Etienne's older than I thought, huh? Shoot.
But he's 27.
I don't even see him on this list.
Did he stay a while? He stayed a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he's almost 27, 26.9.
Yeah.
I thought Gainwell was older than him, but no, he's older than Gainwell.
Let's just go get Najee here and be done with it. Let's go get Najee.
Whoa. Yeah, you would make Chiefs Kingdom have a heart attack between J.K. Dobbins and Najee Harris.
I don't know. I saw a prominent account today pushing the Najee Harris.
Really?
Yeah, their reasoning was that we need an adult in the room, in the running back room, if you go young. He was like their replacement for Hunt.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say more.
No, yeah. It's not. He's the replacement for Hunt. He's in exchange of Hunt.
I was gonna say, shoot, Kareem got kids out there, shoot, about to get drafted.
I would be thoroughly upset if we got
I tell you, man, when I'm telling you about somebody that I loathe on fantasy, burnt year after year, Najee for me. Killed me. Absolutely killed me. He'd be like one of the guys like, oh, he had a nice, okay, one game. You want to, let's ride with him again.
No. It was weird watching him play too, because like he's a big dude, so you would think he would throw dudes off him. It was usually first contact he's going down, which is like, dude, like, wait, are you serious? I was always surprised watching him. It always baffles me.
I don't get it. Look like Tarzan, play like Jane.
Yeah.
So consensus here, Breece Hall is our top dog to be getting in free agency. So Brett Veach, go get Breece. You didn't trade a fourth for him, so now you can offer him whatever now. So go do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about whatever, but
yeah,
you could offer more.
Within reason.
And I think Algier, good segue into this. I think Algier wouldn't, let's say, like Love is by far the best player on the board at 9. Algier wouldn't stop you from going Love. You have like an Atlanta Falcons type situation all over again. I don't know how happy he would be with that, but who cares?
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about running back. So obviously, one of the bigger names in this draft class is Jeremiah Love. We had a whole conversation with former Chiefs center Tim Grunhard about Jeremiah Love a couple weeks ago. But like the free agency class, it's a pretty stacked running back class going down. We can go to round 3, round 4 for some of these guys, and I'd be happy with getting these guys. Not to say they'd be our RB1 at round 3, round 4. This is obviously going one of those guys. We're probably signing one of the other guys that we talked about in the free agent pool. But when you look at this running back class, what stands out to you? And yeah, if it does come down to a Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall situation, are you guys more firmly saying you'd rather have Breece Hall than drafting Jeremiah Love? And I think we all kind of agreed to the same answer here on that one. But what do you make of this running back class?
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big college guy. I have no idea who most of these guys are. I haven't watched them. For real. Just be honest. Hey, I have seen. I've seen enough of him. Trying to think who else is on here. Let me see. If they didn't play Kentucky, because I was doing the pregame for Kentucky and stuff like that. I mean, shoot.
Mike Washington played against Kentucky at Arkansas.
I like Mike Washington Jr. He'd be a good big back to get. Let's say you sign Walker, you want like a young big back just to.
Who's that?
Cruise. Mike Washington.
Okay,
I like him. He's got fun.
They didn't play Kentucky this year though. I don't think Arkansas played Kentucky this year. They did they?
I was just guessing it's SEC, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think they played him.
Yeah, he's a big guy who's got, I think, the power back in a 1-2 committee, I think. He wasn't used a lot in passing game, but he doesn't have bad hands. He's not completely foreign to catching the ball. Let me read some of the notes I have on him. So he's 6'2", 225, 6 yards per carry, 79 percentile at yards after contact per attempt, 82 percentile breakaway rate, which is good for a really big guy like that. Does not get arm tackled, long legs, kind of a long strider, but just wasn't used a lot in passing game. Just not to say you can't do it, they just didn't utilize him that way.
This is Mike Washington?
Yeah, one thing I liked about him too, because I think Marcus and you and I watched his highlights for a while. He's good at he's got speed for a guy that size. He knows when to try to run through somebody, and then he knows when to try to be elusive and stiff arm and just take off. So he's good at doing both of those things, which I like. I think he's going to move up the board. I think he's going to the Senior Bowl. I could see him moving up the board with an impressive performance and an impressive combine.
Okay. All right. Start getting some bites on guys. I'll start checking them out a little bit when they start kind of whittling guys down a little bit. That's why I want to get to. That's why I like, for me, college, there's so many teams out here and different guys, and you're playing so many different. It's just, I'm like,
yeah,
you look great against Tulsa, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh, you killed them. Okay, well, what are you gonna look like I said, against somebody in the SEC or whatever? I mean, that's the only reason. Like, some of these guys I just don't. I don't watch a lot of Washington. Not really.
Yeah, it's a good big guy draft from what I've read, and overall, it's not considered a great running back draft. They had some guys come back to school who were supposed to come out. Haynes from Michigan, LJ Allen, BYU, someone else too I'm forgetting right now. So they've had a couple guys go back.
Yeah.
But obviously Love is far and away the best back there. Just a complete package. Home run every time. Price, I'll tell you what, if you can't get Love and you have let's say you get Algier and you're like, oh, okay. I mean, Price is not a bad consolation prize. Give him a crease and he's gone, right? He returned 2 kicks for touchdowns out of 12 attempts. So he doesn't need that much. I mean, that's a guy, by the way, if you have an Algier and he's your home run threat, he's your kick returner and your punt returner too. You get use out of him. A 4.22 yards after contact, 95th percentile. So not only is he a home run hitter, he can break tackles too. He tore his Achilles in 2022. That's one of his injury past. But I mean, from everything I've heard, if he entered the transfer portal, he would just be people would just throw money at him if he did that. He would have been the guy on an offense. He's just behind the number 1 guy in college football, right?
A lot of draft experts said had he gone elsewhere to be an RB1 somewhere, he would have been in the Heisman conversation potentially, just based on his numbers and the stats. There's one stat that I saw of him that kind of blew me away when I was doing research on this. Was he averaged about 32 yards per touchdown on 27 scores at Notre Dame. So he's talk about home run threat. He is a home run threat. Talk about if you do get a guy, but maybe you don't go the Breece Hall route, you go one of the other bigger running backs. You pair him with him. You have a nice 1-2 punch. With that. But that's a popular name. I think I saw someone in the chat say go Algier and draft Jadarian Price in round 2.
I would be very happy with that. Not super sexy, but you got the second best home run hitter in the draft, and you got a guy who is paired up with the best home run hitter in the NFL. So, it makes sense. I like Emmett Johnson a lot too. I think Emmett Johnson's got I think he's got future potential 3-down back in him. I loved watching his highlights. It was so fun. Some stats on him. I know we're going to get way more into college. But in high school, he rushed for 2,500 yards, 42 touchdowns in his senior season, and also had 130 tackles on defense. So, I mean, just a football player, right? He forced a lot of missed tackles on rush and reception. So he's really good at catching the ball, turning around and becoming a runner. So that's why I think he's also got that 3-down potential. Makes you miss in small areas, open space, 80% as a runner, 78% as a receiver, 85 percentile fumble rate, so he doesn't fumble a lot. Good vision, good footwork. I loved watching him was fun. I think he's going to be a good NFL player. And he wasn't just catching dump offs. I don't know if you remember, because he was catching routes. He was going out for routes and catching balls.
Yeah, he killed UCLA on being pretty much a receiver out of the backfield against them.
Yeah. He's a little slender, but he takes on hits and he gets through them. A little raw in pass pro, but I think we kind of expect that. That's why I said 3 down back in the future. But he can.
I'm curious on his 40 time though, because he's tested out about 4.5 40. A guy that size, I kind of want to see a little bit. I want to see like 4.4 range for a guy like that. But I mean, a lot of these guys so early on, I'm curious to see how they have the test at the combine, because all these draft experts can say guys can be a 2nd or 4th round pick right now. Guy goes to the combine or Senior Bowl and blows it away. Then we're talking a whole new ball game with some of these guys.
Yeah.
Could, but I mean, I think now, tape don't lie. You look at the measurables. I mean, you could test well, and so maybe just that 1 week in the Senior Bowl is just not going to. Like, okay, sounds good. Tested well at the combine, but we start pulling out the tape, start looking at guys. It's like, what guy are we getting?
Yeah,
the guy that tested well for the combine, or the guy that played all last year, and see what he did. So and then
I think Coleman's got potential for a good 3 down back early in his career too. I think Coleman could be someone's starter like next year.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's more ready. I think Emmett might take a little more time to be like your main guy. But those are the two, like, I think future 3 down backs. Love's obviously ready to be your offensive standout.
So of these guys right here, okay, who is ready day one, like plug and play?
To be your bell cow, or just to have a place in your offense?
No, I'm talking about to be your bell cow. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Because this is what I'm talking about, going all the way in on guys, okay? I'm not trying to talk about 2 or 3 different guys. I think we invested in Brashard Smith to know what he can do. Kareem Hunt is a good, short down back. Damon Pierce is a guy that's played in the league before. He can give you something, a professional guy. He's going to give you more out of Bieniemy. Who out here, right here in this list, is your guy? Jeremiah Love, of course, but who else? Give me another name out here that you say this guy right here is ready. Like last year, it was exploded with running backs that could start in the league right now, right? That's what we saw.
But a lot of them didn't. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's my thing. That's kind of my point.
I'd say outside of Love, I'd say Price, Coleman, day one. Price and Coleman.
I think Singleton's got a shot too. But the thing is, with a lot of these guys, they're coming from committee type of backfields. We never actually saw them be their full-time guys. Like Love and Price, but there was kind of a part-time thing. Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, kind of a part-time thing with those guys. Very seldom of these guys were like 25-plus touch dudes at their schools, which is just kind of interesting in itself that we're kind of starting to see some of these guys not be the full-on bell cows in college anymore.
I think Singleton would have them. If you're going to pick who could be this year's like Woody Marks, I'd say Singleton, a guy who wasn't used the way he was a third down back. He's good in pass pro, 20 percentile and missed tackles per attempt. That's not good for your main back to have. But then again, you could have a lot of those same stats for Woody Marks coming out of SC. No one thought he was going to be a main back, at least not in his first year. So that caught a lot of people off guard. So I think he could do that if you have the right vision for it. But next year, like day one, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if his vision is good enough, and his 20% missed tackle per attempt. It's brutal.
So for me, that's what I'm saying. I would rather put that on Brashard Smith's shoulders than some of these guys, unless you're just going to get a guy for depth. Honestly, for somebody that has got the experience playing for the 1 year, we've seen what he did in college. He wasn't chopped liver. And so we just didn't let him have the football. And so if I'm sitting here and I'm looking like what Brashard Smith can do at the end of the season, we've seen the cutback, we've seen the vision, we've seen the speed. He is the kind of return guy. That's what I'm sitting there saying, man, we got to get somebody that is the guy, and then everything falls on everybody else's shoulders. All these other guys coming in, I'm not wasting a draft pick on that. We got other needs than that. We just do. I'm just going to be honest. So we got so many holes to fill. We don't know how our receiver room. I don't know. Everything still not came out with as far as how things are. We don't quite know. Same thing. We talked about free agent wise. What are we going to do with DB? Okay, thinking about safety. We got to look at other places as well. Try to get some guys in. I just, for me, if I'm looking at my room that I had, and I'm sitting there saying, Bashar Smith gave me enough to sit there and say, we got to make the main guy that comes in. So he have to be a love that we know is going to start right now. Who's your guy? And Bashar Smith is the complimentary guy. Or it's going to be Breece Hall, Walker, or Etienne, or if you say it like Algier, if we're going to trust those guys and the Bashar Smith and everybody said we got, I will be fine with that. All these other guys over here, I'm just going to be honest. If they ain't blowing you out of the water, and then, shoot, I just don't hear nobody talking, standing on the table for a guy. And this is how it works. And, when you're saying the talent, I need to hear somebody stand on the table like, yo, hey, this is who this guy's going to be. You know what I mean? This is how it works, man. When we get into the, the combine, you start talking about guys, this is the conversation.
I think it really depends on who you sign. I think we'll know a lot. If you sign Rico Dowdle, that wouldn't stop me from drafting a lot of these guys. If you sign Dobbins, definitely wouldn't stop me from drafting. If you sign Dobbins, I would be thrilled with Emmett Johnson signing or drafting. Like a guy, you sign Dobbins to like a 2-year deal, you sign Rico to like a 2-year deal, and then Johnson's year just takes the job from him in those 2 years, and then you have him for 2 more years on really cheap deal.
You trust him? Hold on. You trust him behind Patrick Mahomes? He's going to be the guy that's going to be there behind Patrick Mahomes on his tail end after he came back from an ACL injury. And this is the guy.
No, that's why I said you if you sign Rico, if you sign J.K. Dobbins, you can draft one of those guys. I don't think that level of running back would stop you from drafting. Rachaad White would definitely not stop me from drafting M. Johnson. Now you'd have that guy, that trusted vet, as your main guy to start the year, and you work the rookie in. And if he has the juice, he's got the juice. You can't turn it loose. But I think it depends on the tier of who you sign. I think we'll know a lot about that. You sign Breece Hall, I don't think we're looking at one of these guys. I just don't think so. I mean, maybe a late round gem that you're like, hey, this guy's. I think this guy, in case anything happened to Breece, I think let's say Mike Washington fell like the 5th, 6th round. You're like, okay, let's get him in here. He could do something for us. But I don't think you're going after a running back. Walker, I could still see you trying to get maybe a mid-late round thumper, because I don't want to put 250 carries on Walker. I want him to be around for the playoffs. So just for his own sake and my own sanity, let's get a guy in here as well with him. Algier, I think you try to get a home run threat with Algier. So I think it really depends on what tier you're getting there. So Algier, I think you go it'd be more of a Breece Hall. I think you think he's your guy, 3 downs. And again, if there's a guy that's falling in the draft, take him at good value.
So Algier with Bashar Smith, Kareem Hunt, and Damon Pierce is not enough, you saying?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go hunting for a home run hitter in the draft. I'd be okay with what you just said.
Okay. We talking turkey here, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't be against. Now, if you want to draft, if you're saying like, hey, Brashart's a 7th-round pick, we're not totally sold on him. And Singleton drops far in the draft, or Claiborne, another guy who's got like legs and juice. Or let's say we trade McDuffie. Let's say we get an extra 2nd and 4th, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in our early 3rd-round pick, and Price is there. Do you say, hey, we got Algier? Algier and Price are different. Like let's get the guy who can take this to the distance. Also our return man, and we have Algier on the cheap. I don't think that's going to stop you from doing that. I really just think I love free agencies beforehand. We're going to know a lot by the time free agency rolls around and what we're going to plan on doing. See, the thing about Algier, so interesting, like I said earlier, you get Algier, I don't think that stops you from going Love if the draft board falls a certain way. Because you're not really, I don't think Algier is going to get a lot of money in free agency. So he'll be a bargain. So can you still afford to get like a first top 10. I'm not, and trust me, I'm the last guy who's an advocate of number 9 running back, but I don't think whatchamacallit, Algier stopping you from going Love caliber player.
I think I'm with JD here as far as you sign Breece Hall because Mahomes is coming back from an ACL injury, and I'm not really safe with any of these running backs being our RB1s from day one. I want to be able to trust if you want to give the ball to Breece Hall 15 to 20 times a game, I'm going to do that. Outside of Jeremiah Love, and honestly, Jeremiah Love, I'm not in that soul. We don't know what he can be. I mean, he can easily be a bust. I know a lot of people say he's a surefire generational talent, which I hate the generational talent talk and verbiage. But like, I'm not sold that we can do that with him. So like, Breece Hall would be a guy I'd be totally fine with. Just this, especially when you have a quarterback coming off an ACL injury. I think if you are going to draft a running back, late round, 5th, 6th round guy to take a flyer on a guy who's maybe falling, but I don't think you go. I don't think you waste a top 3 round pick on any of these guys.
Most rookie running backs that come in, it takes them about a year to get acclimated to what they're doing, the speed of the game. It does, and so that's why I said somebody who's game ready, day one coming in, you don't have to tell him anything. He already knows. You already know. You handed the ball off, he's flying. He understands everything as far as blocking. He understands how fast the game is. He's been there. He's got that experience already. Love still has to learn this. Even with his talent that he has, he still has to learn it. Because you know why? The guys in the NFL is just that much faster. Yeah, he's not going against guys in international finance back there. He's just not. Hey, man, some of these guys, he's going to look better than because he is better than. In NFL, all these guys are good. They are. And you sitting there, you looking at how this past weekend went with Hunter and all those different dudes, and these guys weren't making no yards in a game that you had to hand the ball off, you had to block. They weren't doing anything. They weren't doing anything. You know why? Because these guys get paid, and they don't care who you are. I don't give a daggone you wear a gold helmet, Notre Dame. It doesn't matter. It's gold jackets in the NFL. That's what you're going against. So you're going to have guys every single year come out on the block, generational talent. You keep hearing all these things. You know how much guys don't care about that in the NFL? That's a challenge. Jitney, they were sitting there saying, man, I'm going to shorten this sucker's neck up every chance I get.
I think with Love, though, and this is where it comes into where he goes, I think if the entire defense keys in on him, it's different than coming to the team with Mahomes on it, right? Like Love, the Chiefs are one of like 5 to 7 teams that you're not going to key in on Love when you play against us, right? Not many teams you could say that. Most teams, he will be by far their most dynamic player. Where the hell is Love? We need to stop him today, right? You're not really saying that if he comes to Kansas City. You're going to say when he comes to Kansas City, but you are more concerned about Mahomes. So Love being in slight afterthought in an offense is a pretty nice luxury. And I think that's why people get really carried away mocking him to us, because they just can't help themselves to be like, I want to see this guy on a team where teams are game planning for the quarterback and not him. And then he comes out and like busts a 90-yard run in the opening drive. And it's like, oh shoot, what do we do on the next drive? Like,
well, I think it's different in the NFL. The NFL is sitting there saying, it doesn't matter who you have back there. We'll look at Patrick Mahomes for sure, the wide receivers, they have a running back. Like, we got guys that are good enough. Even if Love is not going to be the featured guy, we got guys who's going to be able to run him down. That's how they're banking on it. You know, when you sit there, you're talking about guys that, I mean, just play the game for a long time. It's almost like an insult to have a rookie come in and kill you like that. So they're going to make it a point. They're going to know, like, if you draft for Love, he ain't just going to be back there like a piece. They like, yeah, they're going to give the ball to him.
I don't know. In Kansas City, you might not get that many carries, even if you're the top 10 pick overall. We need to see them run the ball 15 times before we believe it, okay? I want to see them run the ball consistently. Not till they prove it. I would even be like, man, you're telling me if we got Love, you take over 20 carries in his first game? I wouldn't.
No.
You need to prove it to me they're going to run the young guy before they do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he will still be you will still know exactly where he is because of what you see.
I definitely hope so.
These seasons are like, well, shoot, we're not going to just leave him out there. Like we know Mahomes, but also Mahomes is still coming off that ACL, so he ain't going to be taking off like he used to.
Well, people are also going to be saying, let me prove that he's Mahomes again before I start treating him like he's Mahomes again, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So.
CH did have 25 carries his first game. In his debut.
He did.
25?
He had 25 in his first game.
What did he do with him?
In his first game, CH had 25 for 138.
Okay.
And then I don't think he ever had 25 carries ever again. I'm pretty sure he never had 25 carries in the game again after that.
We just wanted to put you out there. Let's see what you can do. Now we're going to put you on the shelf.
Or 138.
For 138.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have that again.
Jeez.
So
he had that one game in Buffalo that he had a lot. He had a lot
of carries in that game. Yeah.
I
think he played probably 20 for like one something in that game.
It's always rough when you can remember the exact games where guys like looked like how they were supposed to look. You're like, man, that's a problem. Actually, I shouldn't be able to rattle those off so easily.
Well, it's a problem when you can always remember those are the games he had 20 carries because we just don't run the ball that much, so you can pinpoint the 20-plus carry games. Yep. So almost every Kareem Hunt game last year and then the 30-carry game this year for Kareem, those are the last 20 carry games I remember.
Speaking of being young, he's 26 himself.
Yeah, CEH?
Yeah, CEH.
Oh,
man. But it seems like JD and I are in the same boat. It seems like Teja's kind of toss up there. I think Teja sounds like you're kind of a Love guy.
What boat?
You wouldn't mind taking Love at number 9.
No, I mean I want to sign Hall. Sign Hall.
Okay, so we're all the sign Hall.
Yeah, I'm sign Hall.
Okay.
I'm more of a wait and see because we don't. Free agency will clear up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still for signing or drafting Love if the board doesn't work in our favor and Love is by far the best player available, and B, we weren't able to get that 3 down back in free agency. And I still want a guy who can really, really, take the edge off of everybody. So I'm not against Love. I'm not saying I'm not pounding the table for Love right now. Absolutely not.
All right.
Because we looked at the teams that's drafting ahead of us. There's a couple teams that need defensive ends, and
there's a lot of teams with a lot of needs. Problem is, JD, this isn't like an amazing top end draft, and I think when that happens, you might see teams draft for need, right? Because there aren't just so many blue chippers that someone's going to be like, no, I cannot pass up on so-and-so. I just can't do it. I can't. Even though we have a guy who's kind of there at the position, he's too good. He's that much better. It's not really like that this draft. So you might just see teams be like, number 1 running back on the board, the number 1 offensive tackle on the board, even though their offensive tackle is ranked 17th overall. We need the tackle. Let's just get it. I need a starting tackle to start the season, so.
We think about right here.
Yes.
Angler. I'd rather take a wide receiver than running back at 9.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too. Yeah.
Me too.
So even with Worthy, Royals, probably have Tyquan Thornton here again.
Maybe. We might. And Rice has only got 1 more year left.
Rice got 1 more year.
So yeah, we're on the cusp of only having 2 receivers in our stable, right? So yeah, I don't think Worthy's done enough, and Rice's unfortunate situations to keep propping up, and 1 more year left. I don't think that wouldn't keep me away from drafting a receiver we think's the guy.
Yeah. That'll be we can dive into our wide receivers next Monday. Only 3 receivers on our roster going into next year.
Yeah.
Ruben Bain is dominating tonight. Has a sack. So does Messidor. Messidor and Ruben Bain both have sacks in this game.
Oh boy!
So both those guys are definitely increasing their draft stock tonight.
Yes, they are. No one's worried. No one's measuring their arms tonight, guys.
No.
And that's
So-
and that I'll tell you. And that tackle, I don't know who the sacks are on. I want to see if Carter gave it up.
Bain's tackle came from the left side.
Left
Left
tackle.
tackle,
So
left
that's
tackle, yeah.
So that was on Carter, who's like a third round, top 100 player overall off its tackle. So
Yeah.
he's doing it on the biggest stage against one of the better tackles in college football.
Yep.
Yeah,
before we
Messidor is older. That's true.
I'd be okay with him in the second round if we can get that.
Yeah. That's the new NFL or the new NIL in college, though, man. Like, these guys are going to be
Keep this kid
older.
for long, yeah.
Staying like 15 years in college.
Yep.
Got more gray than me in their career.
Let's go to Super Chats before we get out of here. Flapjack City, appreciate the contribution, man. Jadarian Price, Hunt 2.0. I mean, Price is just out of this world fast compared to Kareem Hunt. But 2.0, I guess, I don't really see it, but I do see the versatility wise that Kareem Hunt did bring coming out of Toledo. So, yeah.
When Kareem came out of Toledo, he was a problem.
He was. Yeah, he was such a beast, man.
Oh, I knew it. I said, shoot. Everybody was sleeping on him. I was like, man, they need to get Kareem Hunt here. We got him. I was like, yes, sir. Bowling ball. That sucker you could knock that joker down.
No. And then Amda Brown with the contribution. Appreciate you, Amda. This is the indicator for the free agent signing the Chiefs. If we hear reports of more than 2 Chiefs restructure their contract, this means Chiefs going big. Yeah. I mean, hopefully Breece Hall is a part of that puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep. I think there could be a definitely big splash signing. My money would be on like a Breece Hall and like a safety and a D tackle. That'd be my bet.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Digger 4287 led the NFL in rushing his rookie year with Andy as a head coach.
Good old Kareem, baby.
We didn't mention Katron Allen out of Penn State either. His nickname's Fat Man.
What's his size?
He's 5'11", 220.
Why, that's his nickname?
I think that's the way he plays. He just plays like a bowling ball. He just runs through people. That'd be another guy you get if you got Kenneth Walker. Great guy to pair him with.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed none of you guys said you'd be down for Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell brings this Jerick McKinnon type of vibe. When you talk about Jerick McKinnon vibes, Kenneth Gainwell would be that Jack McKinnon type of guy.
Yeah. He looked good this year, man. He's like a poor man's LaShawn McCoy this year.
He looked pretty dang good. I will say,
He looked
in the
good.
game he started
really good.
as their RB1. He looked really good. But I don't think any of us would be thrilled if that was our RB1 going into 2026.
No, sir. I like
that's someone you definitely pair with a bowling ball running back in the draft.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this Monday morning tight end show. Talk about the running backs. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned a lot from it. And I'm loving to see the uptake in viewers again. Everyone's coming out of their Chiefs sleepy shell to enjoy the offseason because there's a lot to enjoy. The end of the season sucked, guys, but 2026 offseason is going to be fun. And we're doing this every Monday. And we got our show on Wednesday. And we're getting new hires. Soon we're going to have new acquisitions. So, guys, come on out. Come on out. We've missed you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see y'all coming back. Good to see y'all coming back. Y'all should have been coming back anyway, All right. Everybody's hurt feelings. And, okay, now it's time. 2026 is here. Hey, relax. Chiefs are going to get busy to where they need to get to. So we're going to be here for all of that. So looking forward to it, baby. Looking forward to it. Let me see. Yes, I had another great show. Chad, prayers. Chad's doing great. Seen him yesterday. So I'm going to head down there today. I see my brother went down there, so I'm going to go down there tomorrow, go see him. But appreciate y'all coming out, man. Thanks for the prayers. Also want to pray for About Time as well. I know he said he was in the ER last night for like 9 hours dealing with some things. And About Time, man, you hang in there, my brother. We putting prayers out for you. And so just want to continue to pray for you and your wife. and everybody else who's on here too, and just for everything that's going on in this world, man. It's amazing to me. We get to talk football. And there's some craziness that's out here in the world that we could kind of get away from, but it's still there in our face. That's why I always tell everybody, hey, love each other the way we're supposed to love each other. We got to do a much better job of it, because right now we're losing that battle. Okay, people's hearts and their minds of empathy and love for one another. We got to do a much better job of doing those things. To each man and woman that's hearing my voice, everybody do your part. Okay, do your part. Okay, so.
And happy birthday to Andrea. Happy birthday, Andrea.
Andrea,
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to you. Another round of sun, baby. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good to see you.
You come with like a Chief Concerns birthday song, like they do like Outback Steakhouse or something. I was at a Mexican restaurant like a month ago, man, and I'll tell you what, I didn't count, but if there was an over-under on how many birthday songs were sung that night, it was definitely over 15. It was incredible. I had to ask, I was like, do you car people to see if there's, I go, you guys don't give away cake, do you? She's like, no. I was like, well, I guess they're real then. You're paying for that thing, then I mean, why would you be making that up? You like their voices that much? I don't get it. Dude, I'm telling you, I was like, and it's not just singing. Like, dude, they bring out the guitar, they were playing the bongo. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. You couldn't even have a conversation. It was a birthday song every 10 seconds. I was like, man, they can get their own room in the back with like soundproof like padded walls or something, dude.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Crazy.
Another birthday? Golly,
I was like, no, I go, absolutely not. And one of the waitresses and I caught eyes. I was like, no. I was like, no way. I was like, you guys don't car people. She goes, no, I kind of wish we did. I was like, yeah, I bet you wish you did.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't like having the same birthdays every 2 seconds too. If
I don't believe it.
Oh,
She goes, yeah, but it's people's birthdays this week, or I go this month, or this season.
But all right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Like JD always says, love each other the way you're supposed to. And we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of this college football finals here. Hopefully, Ruben Bain doesn't have too good of a game, because we won't be able to get him at number 9 if he does continue to dominate the second half of this one.
I'll give you a little bit. Had this earlier. This was when Stevie was singing "Happy Birthday" for Martin Luther King Day.
Mm-hmm. What a beauty!
Yeah. If I had anybody sing me a birthday song, come on, it got to be Stevie.
Oh yeah. So Audra's 59 years young. Audra, 59 years, baby. 59 years.
Here's the Andrews here coming in. Coming for you.
Sing it. Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Andrea. There you go.
Yeah, just want to do that real quick for you, Andrea.
Now it's going to be everyone's birthday every other week here. You know that, right? Yeah, a lot of birthdays after this.
Put a little
Sing
hat
a
on,
song,
get
sing a
little
song
little
request.
dance and all of that for everybody. We got something for y'all. Yeah.
Get some Chicken Stars maracas going.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Love you all. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Love y'all. Y'all take care. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Be good.
Love you, JD.
God bless y'all. We'll see y'all later. Love y'all too.
Love you,
Everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.